it's a big misunderstanding that people have that Sabbath is a legalistic thing. Now, of course, it's there in the law, and God did not give the law as a joke. It's not just your general guidelines. It's the law. It's important. It matters, and you have the commandments. And it's interesting that Christianity has no problem with any of the other commandments. Everybody's quite happy for the other 9. Honor your father and mother so that your days are prolonged on the earth. Yes. Tick. That's great. Don't lie. Yes. No adultery. Fine with it. You shall not take the name of God in vain. Absolutely agree. You should keep the Sabbath. No, that's just the Old Testament.
Yeah. I've heard so many people say that recently too.
It's totally inconsistent. You cannot pick 9 and then choose one that is not convenient to you and say that belongs to the Old Testament. And this comes from this idea that the Old Testament, God saved through the law. And the New Testament with Jesus, God saves through grace. And this small mistake in biblical interpretation will lead you down a path that you will end up with the kingdom of heaven being anything but the kingdom of heaven. Because it's never been through the law. It has always been through grace. In the Garden of Eden, it was grace. In the flood, it was grace. With Abraham, it was grace. With Isaac, grace. Jacob, grace. With Joseph, grace. With David, grace. And with Moses in the law, it's grace. And this comes from a misunderstanding of how the commandments start. And it's okay, people make mistakes, but this one has insane consequences. The first commandment does not start with, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's not how the commandment starts. The commandment starts there in Exodus chapter 20. It starts with, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Ruth was beginning to allude to this. The 10 commandments are not the way in which you're going to appease God so that he can forgive you. It's never been like this. The law is not capable of bringing you salvation. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. It's always been grace. The grace is the first sentence of the law because God brings them out of slavery. Now that you are free, then let me help you understand what free people do. They only worship gods that exist. They don't create images of God because they cannot define who I am. They respect my name. They stop one day a week on the 7th day to remember that they're not machines and that their value doesn't come from how many bricks they produce. Remember Pharaoh in Egypt? You will produce more bricks, less bricks. Your value was how many bricks you produced. Now God frees you from that slavery and says, in order for you to remember that you're free, you're going to keep the Sabbath. You will honor your parents. You will not lie. You will not murder. And all the other of the commandments. It's a mark of freedom because they did not know how to live a life of freedom. It's always been grace.